I'm making this quick video. I got to get in here to work, but I got so much on my chest with this election that I just wanted to make this video right quick. I'll probably just make several videos because it's no way I can even get it all in one. But, I was listening to a talk show last night on Insight, and they had a doctor, oh gosh, I forget his name, but anyway, it was a Perry Peltz show, and she had a doctor on there, Dr. Michael something, and they were talking about, how stressed out folks are with this election, and how we can deal with all of our emotions. And then a few people called in, and they said in their household that they are actually having arguments because one person is supporting Clinton and one person is supporting Trump. And so, the doctor, psychiatrist, was giving all of this advice about, you should question if you feel like you're getting your back up because you're upset about something. You should ask yourself why. And, then, also just think about the mechanics of the relationship because, you want to, make sure you don't destroy your relationship over these discussions. And then he also talked about if Donald Trump were to be elected, we need to think about other times in history where, the most dreadful time, the Civil War, which after the Civil War, the Americans came back together. Y'all, I lost it. I was driving. If I could have called in, I would have called in, but I totally lost it. First of all, his tone was kind of annoying because it was like, what is the problem? Don't be upset. We're fucking upset. We are upset. One, if people in their households are having knockdown dragouts because one is supporting a bigot and one is not, I say good for those households. Those should be those kind of discussions or those kind of fights because one person is anti-humanity and one person is for it. Okay? All right. Secondly, Reconstruction. When the Reconstruction happened after the Civil War, America did not come together. You know who came together after Reconstruction was supposedly over or even after Reconstruction failed? White people, the North and South, came together. There was no coming together for the Black Americans, the recently freed Black slaves. These people were left basically, especially those in the South, were left to those Southern politicians, governments. They were giving back a lot of their authority to run their states how they wanted to, Jim Crow, etc., and all of that stuff that came later. There was no coming together of America. That is bullshit. You do not understand history. And I am so tired, especially as an African American, obvious, that we keep dancing around what's really happening in this country. This country is having a tantrum, an episode, because their chickens are coming home to roost. Meaning minorities now more than ever with the changing demographics, if they take that power and use that power, they have the power to influence who is in office. They are in a position, if they collaborate and use their power, to influence decisions that are made, because we need political influence as well as influence in many other places and in many other organizations, not just at the federal level. So people are freaking out because people see that there is a loss of power and a loss of dominance. And the people who are freaking out are racist. You cannot sugarcoat it. They are racist. Okay, because and when I say this, please understand, this is not a condemnation at all on all white people, because there are plenty of sane white people right now who are as scared as many of us are with the notion that next week this time Donald Trump could have been elected president of the United States. Okay, so I'm just so tired of this dialogue that is not dealing with the real issue here, which is racism. And some Americans, a lot of Americans, obviously, because Donald Trump got the nomination, and this is a close race that we're coming up on Tuesday. And a lot of Americans are more than happy to embrace an out of the closet, blatant, racist, sexist. They're good with that if that makes them feel like they will still be able to have this so-called dominance and power. It's horrible. It's horrible. More to come, because there's even so much more to say on that, because even the people that the reporters claim or in the Donald Trump's camp, the blue collar, white person, uneducated. That's what they claim. Sometimes I don't know how about all of those demographics, because sometimes I feel like that's even just part of the propaganda and the more of a way to polarize us and hype up their presentations to us in the media. But I don't even want to talk to the people who may fall into that demographic, because we know we've gotten the short end of the stick in this country in a lot of ways, but you guys have too, because people are using psychology on y'all. They are influencing you all with this false dominance thing, and you guys don't even have a piece of the pie. You guys, if they really gave you the real stats, you guys are on welfare more than minorities. You guys, the poorest cities, counties in this country are actually white rural areas. People are using people, working people, underserved people of all races. Politicians are using us against each other. They're polarizing us where we can't even come together and fight for stuff that all of us would agree with. There's so many of us that would agree that these trade agreements suck. Okay, they suck. Whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, Black, White, Asian, Hispanic, it doesn't even matter. There are so many of us that would agree with that. We would agree with that, so we need that to change. But we can't even collaborate as citizens and get our energy together because we're being so polarized by all of this racist, sexist, crazy stuff that's going on. It is crazy. So just want to say, please vote. It matters. Don't let anyone tell you that it doesn't matter. You need to vote.